Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has appealed to Donald Trump to show strength when dealing with Russia and the invasion of his country, warning that North Korean troops were now killing people on European soil. He was speaking at a gathering of EU and European leaders in Budapest who've been responding to Trump's victory.
Europe has much to process: the return of Donald Trump, the collapse of the German coalition, and leaders like host Viktor Orban who believe Trump's election should inspire Europe to take an illiberal course, including abandoning Ukraine to Russia's conquering impulses. Trump's campaign threat to slap 10% tariffs on European exports is a significant worry. Some in Budapest attempted to appeal to his better nature.
I have some experience to working with President Trump from his former mandate, so there's something to build on. And I think very important is that we analyze together what our shared interests are and work with that.
The critical question is whether Trump will follow through on his threat to pull military support from Ukraine. The NATO Secretary-General flattered Mr. Trump that it was he who pushed alliance members to boost defence spending to 2% of GDP.
When he was president, he was the one in NATO who stimulated us to move over the 2%. And now, also thanks to him, NATO, if you take out the numbers of the US for a moment, is above the 2%. And I think very much that is his doing, his success.
Ukraine's president appealed to Trump's sense of his own strength. Peace in his country would be restored both through American and European strength, not by capitulating to Russia's demands.
It is up to Ukraine to decide what should and should not be on the agenda for ending this war. The bill for this war should be sent to the Russians, not to Ukraine.
Europe has to stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. We cannot have a situation where a country can, through aggression, through illegal war, annex people's territories.
But Viktor Orban suggested Trump's election would have a decisive effect on the Ukraine war.
History is accelerated. With the American elections, a chapter is closed. The world is going to change. It will change in a quicker way than before.
What that change looks like will depend largely on who Trump surrounds himself with and, say critics, what he believes will reflect greatest on himself. European leaders are largely guessing in the meantime.
And Tony is standing by for us now in Budapest. So, Tony, what sort of conclusions are EU leaders drawing from Trump's victory and what the future relationship is going to look like?
Well, Eileen, at the meeting here at the Puskás Stadium, football stadium in Budapest, it's almost like EU and European leaders have been trying to shape the narrative before that transition team takes effect in Washington. Ursula von der Leyen saying, look, it's a two-way relationship. We have to build a strong transatlantic economy. Tariffs are not necessarily going to help that for either side. The Taoiseach Simon Harris also talking about Donald Trump being a transactional politician, a businessman, and that he will know that jobs will be at stake if he starts to go down the road of tariffs on the military and security front, and of course what happens with Ukraine. Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary-General, making a very interesting point, saying, look, North Korean troops are fighting alongside Russians in Ukraine. They will want to be paid for that. Russia will be giving ballistic missile technology to North Korea, who can then hit the US continent with those missiles. So saying essentially European security, Ukrainian security is in Donald Trump's and America's interests. Eileen.
Tony in Budapest, thank you.